day and welcome to this week's edition of the National Debate. I'm Madhavdas and viewers. Not only has India returned to the era of coalition governance at the centre after the 2024 Lok Sabha polls, but we also now once again have a former leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha after falling short of the 10% MPs requirement to be the main opposition party in the last two elections. The Congress now has the required numbers and has appointed Rahul Gandhi to the post. Now, this is Rahul's first constitutional post in what is now his fifth consecutive term as a member of parliament. And the Congress is fully looking forward to him leading the charge against the Narendra Modi-led government in parliament. Earlier this week, we witnessed Rahul's first handshake with the Prime Minister as the leader of opposition. He discharged his new role by accompanying the Prime Minister and Parliamentary Affairs Minister in escorting the Speaker to his chair. After Rahul participated in escorting the Speaker, he also followed the Prime Minister in speaking in the House. The new leader of opposition congratulated Om Birla for his election win and second term as Speaker, and also sought that this time the opposition's voice is also heard. Here's what happened in Parliament on day one of Rahul Gandhi as leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha.
मैं प्रस्ताव करता हूं कि श्री ओम बिरला जो इस सभा के सदस्य हैं को इस सभा के अध्यक्ष के रूप में चुना जाए।
Shri Om Birla is declared elected as the Speaker of this House. Shri Om Birla to come up and occupy the chair.
Let's quickly tell you what the strike rate of the two parties has been in this election. This is the BJP at 441 in terms of the seats fought. The seats won were 240. 54.42% was the strike rate of the BJP. The Congress at 238, 99 with the seats won, and therefore 30.18% in terms of the strike rate. Let's also quickly tell you some of the other, in fact, important details in terms of Rahul Gandhi and his various yatras. Now, this is Bharat Jodo Yatra. The constituencies covered was 71. The seats that Congress contested out of these was 56. The seats that Congress won in these was 23, and therefore it's a strike rate of 41.07%. Let's also take you through the Bharat Jodo Nyaya Yatra of Rahul Gandhi. Constituencies covered here were 82. The seats that Congress contested out of these were 49. The seats that Congress won was 17, and therefore a slightly lesser strike rate over here at 34.69%. So this is how Rahul Gandhi's yatras over the past year and a half or so actually fared when it came to the election results inside the Lok Sabha. Let's quickly take this across to our panelists. Joining us first and foremost, we have with us RP Singh, national spokesperson of the BJP. Tushar Gupta, political analyst, is with us. Subhrashtra, founder of the Churn, with us. On my left is Saba Naqvi, senior journalist. We have Renu Mittal, senior journalist, as well as Ramesh Sabarwal, leader of the Congress party. Let me start with you first, Saba. If you look at this particular strike rate of Rahul Gandhi, of course, we will also bring to our viewers the various strike rates of other leaders. But in terms of the Nyaya Yatra itself, it's at about 41%, and even his campaign is around the same figure. It's about 41%. The Prime Minister's is slightly higher. The point being made over here is that are we looking at a Rahul Gandhi who has perhaps come of age? People are saying he's shed the Pappu image. What are we looking at in terms of him finally taking this responsibility as LOP? Because perhaps this is the best answer to those who look at him as a dynast, because the perception is that he is enjoying a lot of authority without responsibility.
No, of course he is a dynast, as are many other parties, and one is not defending it, one is making a point. He's as much of a dynast as the person who is secretary of the BCCI is. I mean, that is entirely a dynastic position. But Rahul Gandhi is a dynast who has contested elections. He's had a rough patch. He had a credibility problem. But right now, the party has done better than it has in the decade of Narendra Modi, and he's there. And I would also appeal to you, since you're looking at the Yatra journey that Rahul Gandhi made and looking at the strike rate. The first Yatra was clearly more successful. Let's look at the places where Prime Minister Modi campaigned and where he made anti-Muslim statements. He is defeated in most of those seats. Let's look at that data.
Yeah. That's fine. That's fine. The total strike rate, since you refer to the Prime Minister, rallies, roadshows of 169, seats covered 167, seats won 91. The Prime Minister's campaign strike rate was 54%. Rahul Gandhi's rallies and roadshows in the Lok Sabha election campaign was 67, seats covered was 65, seats won were 28, and Rahul's campaign strike rate was at 43%. So there's about an 11% difference between what the Prime Minister and what Rahul Gandhi when it comes to the Lok Sabha campaign.
Considering that the entire Bharatiya Janata Party the entire ecosystem, including the media, presented it as Modi's campaign. Everything was built around him. So then his failure is far greater than Rahul Gandhi, who was dismissed as a lightweight.
RP Singh.
You know?
RP Singh.
Madhav, we have been very clever with the data. I'm sorry, being blunt. The seats percentage which you are counting is the NDA percentage when it comes to Prime Minister Modi. When it comes to Congress, if you are counting only, not the India alliance. I mean, he campaigned for others also. He went through the Nyaya Yatra, went to all others, but we are just counting the percentage of the Congress seats contested and the seats won. But that one part. But he is saying that let's count on the seats where Prime Minister said, I object to that. Prime Minister spoke against Muslims. I'm sorry, ma'am. Ma'am, please, I never interrupted you.
Oh, yeah, sure. Please,
raise a question. Let him answer. Let him answer. Yeah.
I'll appreciate, please. I mean, don't make sweeping statement or general statement. If you have anything specific, please put it on record. Don't make sweeping statement. And Prime Minister never spoken a word against Muslims, and rather he has taken stances which is more cohesive, which is inclusive of everyone. One. Secondly, Rahul Gandhi, just recent, first test for Rahul Gandhi as leader of opposition was the speaker's thing. And then he proved that he's a dentist. He proved that he's a dentist. He never consulted Mamata Banerjee, neither Sharad Pawar. They are on record saying that we were never consulted. And then last moment, some emissary were sent, or at the last moment, some calls were made to bring them on board. The fact is that as a dentist as he is, he proved himself as a leader of the opposition also. He said, I give a hood to the opposition.
That's definitely an important point.
Another one.
Yeah, because let's see, this is important, but let me come to this.
Yeah, on this only, I extend this point only, nothing. I just extend this point. Quickly. And also on Aam Aadmi Party, they have been changing stance because it doesn't suit, or it suits them.
Okay, we don't have an AAP spokesperson over here, but Renu Mittal, you have covered Parliament for many years, many decades perhaps, but the question over here is this. Even during the Speaker's election, we saw the TMC taking a different path, saying that we are not going to sign this, we were not consulted. That is going to be a big headache, but of course, we also saw Rahul call Mamata Banerjee later. Mamata Banerjee is someone who has referred to Rahul Gandhi as a kid. We've seen D. Raja say that the immature statements that Rahul Gandhi has made during the recent Wayanad election, so on and so forth. The point being made over here is this. As LOP, Rahul Gandhi will then have that much more effort to make in terms of reaching out to the allies to ensure that there are no cracks within the opposition, because we've seen that happen periodically in the past 10 years.
Yes, absolutely, you are right. Rahul Gandhi's track record has not been very good. He has been inconsistent. He has disappeared whenever the need arose for him to be there. And people, you know, when before the Bharat Jodo Yatra, there was this feeling that Rahul Gandhi is never going to be able to do it. The congressmen themselves were laughing, senior Congress leaders. So he did it. He proved he can do it. He can be consistent, and he can go on one path and he can stay on that path. Now, this is the new Rahul Gandhi. I think after the Yatra, he got a lot of confidence. But you remember after Sonia Gandhi took a back seat and she tried to push Rahul into the forefront of dealing with opposition parties and all, most of them, including Mamata Banerjee, you know, they were so wary of Rahul. They said, he's not a serious player. We can't deal with him. I'd rather talk to Sonia Gandhi. I'd rather do this, that. So this was going on for many years before there was some semblance of seriousness after the Yatra became a success. It was a Yatra with a difference because he walked. He walked and he walked and he met people and he interacted with them. And we saw a new Rahul Gandhi, what you mentioned, the coming of age of Rahul. And I think this was also reflected in the elections that happened. It's reflected now on him taking, for the first time, responsibility. I remember in 2009, when the government was formed for the second time, the UPA government, everybody told him, why don't you become a minister? You can even become the prime minister. You can. No. I have to tour the country. I have to go to the universities. I have to learn. I have to do this. I have to do that. He just didn't want to. For what, about 2 years, he was the Congress president. He didn't want to take it up. Now the fact is that he would have to put in that extra effort if he is going to be able to reach out and keep the India alliance as a cohesive whole.
Okay, I want to bring in Tushar on this.
For him, you know?
I want to bring in Tushar on this because Tushar, Rahul Gandhi perhaps has been reluctant to take on positions of power in the past, and that's what Renu Mittal said. She cited certain examples during UPA 2, etc. The point over here is this: that now with his acceptance of the LOP role and an aggressive position that he has taken throughout this entire campaign, are we going to look at this as the coming of age of Rahul Gandhi, perhaps a more serious politician in that sense, taking on more responsibility? And could that be a cause for worry for the BJP?
Look, Rahul Gandhi has clearly taken up more responsibility as the LOP. It's not going to be an easy job. One may think that all he's going to do is ask questions present a very aggressive posture, but noise is always not aggression. So the first thing to understand is when you look at Rahul Gandhi as a worry for the BJP, we are only comparing Rahul Gandhi against Rahul Gandhi. Yes, he got 40-odd seats in 2014, 50-odd seats in 2019. So yes, 90-odd seats in 2024 seems like a huge improvement. But compare it where the Prime Minister is. And if you're going to say he's a worry for the BJP had 272 plus seats in 2014, 300 plus in 2019, 240 in 2024. So if you're comparing Rahul Gandhi versus his previous versions, yes, there is an improvement. But if you're comparing Rahul Gandhi with the BJP or with the Prime Minister's record in the last 3 general elections, I'm sorry, but Rahul Gandhi has a lot of catching up to do. So yes, he will make a lot of noise. There will be a lot more chatter on the floor. Yes, there will be a lot more MPs from the opposition trying to disrupt the parliament. But is noise always aggression? No. Is that going to be worrisome for the BJP? Absolutely not. But it's not going to be a cakewalk either. But it's not going to be a bed of roses for Rahul Gandhi as well. So if you're talking about improvement, yes, Rahul Gandhi has improved against Rahul Gandhi, not against Narendra Modi.
Okay, I think that's an important point. That's an important point. Yeah.
Just small point to his.
Very quickly, very quickly.
Therefore, yesterday, when the resolution of the emergency was brought in, his complete team at the back was making ruckus, creating ruckus and making noise. He was forced to sit calmly with Akhilesh Yadav and T.R. Balu because both of them had suffered emergency. Akhilesh Yadav's father and T.R. Balu in person. So there's LOP doesn't gel with his party also. I'm not talking about the alliance partner.
Okay.
He is not able to take his party
Let Ramesh
also
take that question. Let Ramesh take that question.
He is nitpicking too much.
Okay.
One little
really
Ma'am, if opposition
I mean,
nitpicks
honestly,
even
there
hands
was-
It's a fault line. It's a fault line.
This is what you have seen on the TV.
Okay, one moment. Let Ramesh come in.
Doesn't make any sense.
Ramesh, do you agree with that concept that is being put forth by Mr. R.P. Singh, that it's certainly not going to be easy as far as this particular Lok Sabha is concerned, because there are ideological divisions. There are those parties that have traditionally opposed the Congress, even during the emergency, have been at the receiving end, and that is going to continue. That's going to be a big factor.
Rahul ji has a legacy of sacrifices for the country. His father was a leader of the opposition. His mother was a leader of the opposition. So there is no need for him to learn more. I will tell you one thing, he will be the best leader of the opposition and he will deliver the constructive approach for the opposition in the Lok Sabha. He will fight for the youth, he will fight for the farmers, he will fight for the women, he will fight for Dalit, which he has learned from the Nyaya Yatra, from Jodo Yatra. Is anybody in this country in such a young age who has finished his knees and did a yatra because his commitment was there? That legacy which he had got from Indira ji, the legacy which he got from his family. जन्म सर इंसान का उसके हाथ में नहीं होता, पेरेंट्स चूज करके नहीं मिलते हैं। काश मेरे पेरेंट्स भी मुझे भी अच्छे मतलब बहुत बड़े लीडर मिले होते। मेरा सबमिशन ये है, मेरा सबमिशन ये है।
Ramesh ji, we are taking this to another level.
मैं कुछ और
Let me ask you another question. You're waxing eloquent about the father and mother. Do you know a fact that both Rajiv Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi were younger than Rahul Gandhi when they became LOP? Rajiv Gandhi became at 45, Sonia at 53. So why is Rahul been so reluctant? Almost 5 terms as MP, 20 years.
We were not having 10% seats.
कितनी
सर
discovery
हमारे पास 10% सीटें अभी आई हैं, हम तो सीटें ही अभी ला पाए।
अच्छा,
मोदी जी का जादू, जो काला जादू चल रहा है इस देश के अंदर, काला जादू जो चल रहा है, अभी भी चल रहा है।
No, let's not offensive, Madhav. No, the voters have voted. They have voted for Gandhis. They have voted for the Prime Minister. Let's not dismiss the mandate of the voters as black magic.
absolutely.
I think
Let's keep
I
it
think we all are bigger than that.
India Alliance, he will keep them in track, unite करके, we will fight for the issues for the people of India, for महंगाई के खिलाफ। अब elections were over, दूध के दाम बढ़ जाते हैं, टोल टैक्स बढ़ जाता है, सीएनजी के प्राइस बढ़ जाते हैं।
वो तो आप कह नहीं रहे।
अब ये चीजों के लिए जो नीट के एग्जाम्स की जो इशू है, Rahul ji has taken up the issue today, and he said that there is no need for us to do the politics of the students' examination. There should be a discussion. Up see the maturity. Other side, see the arrogance. So you have to compare both of them.
Okay, let me bring in Subrashta now on this debate. Subrashta, for the first time.
Very small. No, I'm not making a point. So, Ramesh, you have been quite often meeting Rahul Gandhi. There is a lot of rub-off of Rahul Gandhi on you now.
Rahul ji is such a great leader. I'm telling
मुझे
you.
लगता है बहुत ज्यादा राहुल
He will prove.
जो आप कह रहे हैं ना
आप लोग देखिएगा आपका क्या हाल होता है. भारत की जनता आप धीरे-धीरे और एक्सपोज होंगे. हमारे लीडर में लेगेसी की sacrifices है.
Yeah, please let her just come in. Subrashta, simple question is this: for the first time in the past 10 years, the BJP is short of a clear majority. It is completely dependent on its allies. In the last decade, in this particular parliament, this particular Lok Sabha, are you seeing a massive shift in power dynamics? There was a Rahul Gandhi that perhaps people used to dismiss. Of course, the Congress is entitled to say that he has come of age. But the fact that there are several changes within both the ruling party as well as the opposition benches, are these power dynamics going to play out, and how are they going to play out?
Madhav, I have consistently maintained that since the past 5 years, that the next decade in India is going to be about regional politics versus national politics. Now, I don't see the power dynamics changing that much. I see regional aspirations coming to the forefront and regional parties actively negotiating for their share of the pie. This is where I see it. Now, this whole conversation about Rahul Gandhi, how great his legacy has been, and frankly, Gen Z and millennials don't sort of identify with this kind of a narrative, because I don't think farmers and women need women, Dalits, they don't need representatives to fight for them. Farmers fought for them, for their own selves. Whether people like us agreed with them or not is a different issue altogether. But farm laws were repealed because the farmers protested, not because Rahul Gandhi was their messiah. Let me make it very clear. Today, the people of this country, the women of this country, don't need a Rahul Gandhi to tell them that we need, reservation in the parliament. It's the women of the country which will fight. The problem is Rahul Gandhi needs to fight for himself and his party and his position more than him fighting for anybody else. When, Saba also dismissed it among the chatter, it got dismissed as emergency. Didn't play much of a role. I don't know if she meant if it didn't play much of a role in this.
I mean the debate.
I agree. But, when conversations on emergency are muted like that, it seems as if it didn't happen. Let us remember, this country lost the basic spirit of the constitution when emergency was imposed. I'm sorry to say there is no emergency in this country right now. For as much as the opposition wants to...
One second.
वही मैं आ रही हूँ बोलने के लिए कि जो आप अनडिक्लेयर्ड इमरजेंसी की बात करते हैं, सर आप जेल में होते, राजनाथ जी को अपनी मां का अंतिम संस्कार करने को नहीं मिला था
करवा दीजिए और क्या
That's a very careless. No, that's a very careless. No.
एक सेकंड.
Let's not make it so lightly. I mean, this is not correct. This is not correct. This is not correct. No. I don't think anybody will endorse that kind of comment. Let's not make the debate frivolous, please.
Today, RJD, Samajwadi Party are in alliance with the Congress. I wish the India alliance all the very best. But please remember what Nitish ji, what Lalu ji, what Akhilesh Yadav's father, how they fared during the emergency. Please, I am deeply uncomfortable with the intellectuals on the side of the India alliance who dismiss emergency as if it didn't happen. It did happen. It's a black chapter in Indian democracy.
I don't think there's any denial.
Of this country.
I don't think there's any denial about the seriousness of what happened during emergency. But here's, Subrashta, I want to ask you a couple of things. One, the government has bulldozed bills in the parliament over the past 10 years, is what the opposition has repeatedly said. Do you see that possibility even happening now?
No, I don't. And I think I completely, I would stand with the India alliance if they bring in constructive issues in the parliament and they consistently debate on that. I'm sorry to say, Madhav, but it's only the spokespersons of national political parties who kept basic issues alive, in this country. It was not the MPs who we selected. Because the MPs who went into the parliament did all kinds of drama in the name of emergency, in the name of undeclared emergency, and so on and so forth. How many people, please tell me, today Rahul Gandhi is being hailed as this very, absolutely fantastic leader. How many issues did he raise about youth in the parliament? Not even one. This whole general gyan about what India is going to look to the Gen Z and millennials is not going to...
I'm going to get a response from this side.
We want specific discussions on how exams should be conducted.
Okay, quick
what
response.
Are the systemic
Renu
issues
Mittal, would you like to respond to?
Yes, certainly I would like to, because the point is that nobody was allowed to speak. Mics were muted.
Please,
no, please, listen.
One by one.
The
you
point
made a point,
is
let her
you
respond.
had your say. Let's also listen to what I have to say.
Sure.
I am saying that at that time, see, they were in the opposition. The numbers were very few. There was no opportunity to really take up major issues because the government set the agenda. It carried out the narrative. It decided what wanted to discuss. And when you talk about 150 MPs being suspended, what are we talking about? We are talking about a situation where there were no debates on a large number of bills. So what is the opposition to do? Opposition can make a noise, they can stand up and scream and shout, and they can walk out. What else can you do? So today, when an important issue like NEET is taken up, the government is not concerned about the future of the children. What would one day's postponement of the president's motion of thanks, what does it mean? It doesn't mean anything. On Monday it's to be taken up. Why can you not, in a civilized fashion, let the government agree to hold this discussion?
I think you made a point. Let me get
one more thing, since we're talking about Rahul Gandhi. When Rahul Gandhi raised the Adani matter, if you recall, a court came and declared him guilty of, in a very spurious way, in a very odd, and he was disqualified. It's only because the Supreme Court. He was disqualified. Mahua, who also brought up Adani, was also disqualified.
So there are attempts to misuse the judiciary. That's what you're saying?
No, I am saying certain MPs who raised certain issues were disqualified.
We do understand that when a party opposes a bill that it has in its manifesto, that it advocates in one of its state government economic survey, then that party, in this case the Congress, is only opposing for the sake of it. We may not understand how the parliament functions. We do understand how the hypocrisy of the opposition functioned when it came to the farm laws. Madhav, can I tell you something very, very ironical? 2020, 2021, the farmer protests were at their peak. The government was talking about crop diversification in Punjab, in the state government's economic survey. Then under the Congress government, you know what they were advocating? The farm laws, the very same farm laws. You know what they said in this election manifesto, which RP Singh ji is carrying? That we'll give farmers the right to sell anyone, anywhere at their doorstep. What were the farm laws about?
Let me quickly take this across to the next point that we have. This is the next set of data that we're talking about. This is the LOP Rahul Gandhi's parliamentary track record as a member of parliament. This is his term from 2005 to 2009. Attendance 63%, debates participated in 5, questions asked 3. The next term was from 2009 to 14. As Amethi MP, in fact, attendance at 43%. The national average that time was 76. Debates were 2. The national average was 38. Questions asked was 0. The national average was at around 300. 2014 to 19, as Amethi MP, attendance was 52%. The national average was 80%. Debates at 14. National average 67. Questions asked 0 in this term. National average at 293. 2019 to 2024, as Wayanad MP, attendance at 51%. The national average at 79%. Debates participated in 8. The national average there is 47. Questions at 99. And the national average at 2010. Let me come in now and quickly put this question across to our other panelists on this side. The performance of Rahul Gandhi, Renu Mittal, as a member of parliament.
Also, you missed some few things in this also. Again, I'm sorry, you missed some few things.
If everyone jumps in, we cannot have a debate. Sir, please allow me to connect. I'll give you all a chance. You have all got turns to come in. You can rebut when the debate happens.
You missed out how many times you went in the parliament, how many times you gave a judgment, how many times you did
please allow me, and I'm going to ask everyone to at least allow me to conduct the debate, otherwise you can all leave. Those who don't want to participate are welcome to walk out. Renu Mittal, simple question to you. Rahul Gandhi's track record as a member of parliament has been far less than the national average. I've read out the data. I think as a member of parliament you would know.
PMs also.
Yeah, of course, you can find out. Please do your research. You're more than welcome to do that. We are discussing Rahul Gandhi as LOP at the moment, not PM as LOP. Renu Mittal, your comments on Rahul Gandhi, on his performance and seriousness as a member of parliament, and are you convinced that this data would change in this tenure?
You see, the point is, I've already made this point, that Rahul Gandhi was a non-serious player. He did not attend parliament, he did not participate in debates, he did not ask questions, he was touring universities, after that he was doing the yatra. He was trying to build himself up, because again and again and again he failed when he didn't win elections. So the point was that Rahul cannot be a serious leader, he cannot make the party win, which Sonia Gandhi was trying to push him to do. Now this was a big, I think it was a big mental block for him. He needed to find his confidence, and until he found that with his yatra, I think that Rahul Gandhi after that was a little bit of a change man. I'm not saying that a miracle has taken place. I'm not saying that he's going to do all things wonderful. He will still falter. He will still make mistakes. But I think that somewhere there is a realization that if he has to carry forward his party, which may ultimately finish if it carried on the way it was in the last 2 elections, with people leaving, wholesale may. So it was a question of do or die.
Yes.
And I think Rahul has now realized that if that seriousness has to come, it had to come from within. It took him a long time. 2004 to 2024 is a long time
20 years.
in anybody's history. Now that is finally come, I think and I hope that, he will be able to conduct himself as a serious leader leader of a party should, because the party is looking to him to lead them out of this huge impasse that it has found itself in the last 10 years.
All right, RPC.
Well, I was saying, Madhav, you missed a few other points also. I mean, his attendance, his raising questions. But you must not hear how many times he winked in the parliament, how many times he gave a jaffe, or how many times he probably made some obscene gestures towards the women parliamentarians also. These are also part of the parliamentary procedure which he had conducted. But that point aside, issue is whether he attends parliament, how much he attends parliament or not. That's just a separate issue. Again, last time also in the parliament, they brought Jantar Mantar to the parliament. Parliament is for debating, taking up serious issues, discussing serious issues, not doing bhangra on the tables. That's what happened in the last...
BJP is also protested like that in
Sir, please give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. Madhav, I give a challenge before this debate gets over. Please show me one BJP MP standing on a table and doing bhangra. Please, I'll give a challenge. Give me a second. Let me complete. Last time it was Jantar Mantar into the parliament. This time it is Shriram Theatrix. Constitution, copy of constitution.
This time a lot of issues.
Please, you spoke.
Please finish. I have not spoken.
No.
I am not being allowed to speak.
Give me a second.
Gas cylinders,
Madhav, not in the parliament. Not in the parliament. You can do anything. I said there's a place for. Give me Saba. Hold on. There's a place for do things. Mahatma Gandhi statue is there. Jantar Mantar is there. Shriram Theatre is there. You can do all that. Not in the parliament. Give me a second. This shows his
members of parliament have protested inside the house in the past. I don't know how valid an argument, but all right, one by one. Saba Naqvi, I'm coming to you as well. Coming to all of you. One by one, please. We cannot have everyone speaking at the same time. Saba Naqvi.
I will take on the issue of Rahul Gandhi. Number one, Rahul Gandhi, I agree with Renu. This is his moment right now. There are a couple of other things that have happened. Is that his alliance with... There are two things which are troubling the BJP in a very serious way. One is the utter collapse, almost. Very poor performance out of UP. That whole... Please, let me finish, yaar.
RPC, the numbers are there. Let's not get into hair splitting everything.
There is a very big setback in UP and in Maharashtra. These are two things. So now what has happened, the synergy in parliament, if you watch very carefully, there's... Can I finish? Rahul, Akhilesh and the MP from Faizabad is sitting there entirely. Now, even after the channels finished, if you watch the whole of the speaker's election, on Sunset TV you needed to watch it. All the little parties speaking up. There was no sort of rhetoric about the greatness of the Prime Minister. It was all... so it was important to see the little parties, what they had to say. And I sat and I watched it because it was hugely interesting. Rahul Gandhi, there's one more thing that's happened. Is that the ideological line of the party is now going to be entirely decided by him. It is going to be the same as Akhilesh's, that Dalit, Pichra, Adivasi, the caste census issue. So that has prevailed. There was a little tussle inside the Congress. But that has prevailed.
I want Subrashra to comment on that. Rahul Gandhi deciding the ideological line of not just the Congress party, but the entire opposition, perhaps inside and outside the house. Inside the house, he's leader of the opposition.
They're in synergy. Akhilesh and he are in synergy.
All right, I've got your point, but let me put that. Let's get in the counter view as well, please. Let's get in. Subrashra, how do you respond to that? Because Rahul Gandhi clearly has a huge responsibility in front of him. The larger question is, will he be able to deliver?
I don't know whether he'll be able to deliver. Time will tell. Two quick points that I have to make. First of all, there has been a serious attempt in this country to blur the lines between street politics, parliamentary politics and policy politics in this country. And this has been primarily done by the opposition that has been there for the past 10 years. Let us understand there is a place for everything. The larger point that Mr. Singh was making is absolutely true. The other point, Madhav, which I want to bring is, you know, when we say there are these little parties who are speaking up now, they are not little parties. There have been parties with a lot of might in regional, in their own regional, caucuses. We need to understand that India is finally speaking up. Now, whether Rahul Gandhi has the sagacity to take that along is a question we need to ponder, because in his Nyaya Patra on page number 18, he goes on to say exactly the same thing which farm law says. So when are we going to discuss this? If undeclared emergency is the basic problem that the opposition faces with every time it is asked specific questions, when are we going to discuss? And what is this thing that, ideologically the party is finally coming to the fore because Rahul Gandhi is at the center? What are you talking? Is Akhilesh Yadav comfortable with Rahul Gandhi's views on emergency? Please tell me, are the regional parties... Hold on, because ideology की बात किसी ने नहीं की. रेनू जी, ideology की बात ideology की बात आपने की.
One by one, yeah.
Okay, I need to ask the Congress party. This is a question to Rahul Gandhi. Mr. Rahul Gandhi, are you okay? Are you okay with the wealth creators of this country? Because if you are, then page number 18 of your Nyay Patra basically talks about giving farmers absolute freedom in the market.
Okay.
So are you saying that there should be no MSPs now?
Please respond to this.
Is
Please
Rahul
respond to
Gandhi
this.
advocating no
Subrasa,
MSPs?
what's your point? You made your point, Subrasa. Let her
I
respond
have
now.
found that so many people carry on saying this, that you should get a Congress spokesperson to this one point, which doesn't seem to have any
I want
political
Rahul
flavor.
Gandhi to speak in the parliament
I'm
on
saying
MSP.
something-
Does he agree with MSP or not?
Okay.
Because it is this whole drama that, farm laws are against the farmers.
Okay.
And he goes on to advocate how shameless can he be?
Okay, one second.
How
You should
shameless
ask
can the
a
party
Congress
be?
person.
One second.
We are
If he's
discussing.
mature, let him take a stand. Let him
Romesh
take a stand.
Sabarwal, Romesh Sabarwal.
Sabha says.
Romesh Sabarwal.
Press conferences of the Prime Minister, Mr. Rahul Gandhi. How many days Rahul Gandhi was on the roads of the people of India?
तो क्या करेगा?
Let's compare that.
सड़क पे ही
Why
रहता है,
people are
लोग
comparing
थे,
the other data?
एहसान किया था।
Why not? He's struggling on the
रोमेश
roads.
जी।
He's doing yatras. How he can attend the parliament?
रोमेश
Let's do a press conferences of the Prime
रोमेश जी,
Minister.
आप किसको
We have
सुना रहे हैं?
not done even a single press
आप
conference.
किसको सुना
Rahul
रहे हैं?
Gandhi has done hundreds of press conferences.
आप किसको सुना रहे हैं रोमेश जी? इतनी तेज आवाज में आप देश की जनता को क्यों डांट रहे हैं? देश की जनता ने राहुल गांधी को सड़क पर रहने को मजबूर किया. रहे थे
एक
वो.
सवाल, रोमेश जी, एक
अभी
सवाल.
उनकी नियत
रोमेश जी, एक सवाल. One second, one
धूली
second. Let's not have any crosstalk.
इसमें मेरे
On the
ऊपर
day,
सुना के आप कुछ नहीं कर सकते.
Subrasa, one second. I want to bring in another subject. One second.
मैंने उनको कहा है
One
कि
second.
सड़क पे रहें.
Okay.
थोड़े दिन और घुर घिसे.
Subrasa.
थोड़े दिन चप्पल घिसे. चप्पल बर्किनस्टॉक की चप्पल पहनकर घिसे. सर, ये उनकी नियति है.
Calm down, calm down, calm down. Romesh Sabarwal, I have a simple question for you. The very day that Rahul Gandhi takes over as LOP, the very same day, Mr. Sam Pitroda makes a comeback. Now, Sam Pitroda is someone who has put the Congress in a little bit of a spot many times in the past. Not just now, but many times in the past. In this election also, the Congress had to quickly take a decision to do away with Sam Pitroda. He resigned. On the day that he resigned, we were told that it is his own decision. On the day that he was reinstated, we were told that that is done by mutual discussion. What exactly is happening? And why is Sam Pitroda so important in the larger scheme of things for Mr. Rahul Gandhi?
Sam Pitroda is a chairman of one department. We have hundreds of departments. And he is appointed by...
He's a leader of
Let him answer. Please, let's not please snubbing each other. That's not fair. Let others make the point.
He's a department.
Let's have a
head of
reasonable
the
debate,
Indian
please.
Overseas Department.
Indian
We have hundreds of departments like that. And Mrs. Khadkeji has appointed him, not Mr. Rahul Gandhi. There was a discussion. He apologized for that. What remarks he has done the tweet also that whatever I have done, I resign on my own. Now, the BJP wants to divide this country on religion. Now they want to divide this country on racism also.
Huh? BJP is divided or Sam Pitroda is?
Muslim और हिंदू किए नहीं
No, but Mr. Sam
तो
Pitroda
उन्होंने तो कह दिया कि मैंने वो तो रिजाइन कर तो दिया
No, yeah, even Sabha doesn't understand your point. So forget BJP. Sabha doesn't understand your point.
was polarized in the country on Hindu and Muslims. Now they want to create a confusion on this. When
what?
Mr. Sam Pitroda
What is
has
the
already-
confusion?
On what?
For this racism.
Where are they creating confusion?
Mr. Sam Pitroda has already apologized for that. That issue is already over.
That doesn't take away from his racist
That is
comments.
already over. He said that I did a mistake. I resigned.
So you, according to you, all South Indians
Yeah.
are Africans. According to you, all East Indians are Chinese. That is correct.
We are all Indians.
He has to. But he has to.
Anyway,
he
why
has
are we
not just
discussing
apologized.
this?
He's taken away from that
Discuss Parliament, no?
That's why he resigned. That's why he resigned.
Tushar.
We have been hearing that Rahul Gandhi, even in his media bite earlier today, was talking about speaking up for the youth of this country. He wants the Prime Minister to debate about the future of the youth of this country. Now, as the leader of opposition, he should. But the BJP and the country should also ask him, is the youth of the country comfortable with private sector reservations in education and employment, which the Congress advocates? Is the youth of this country comfortable with the idea of a diversity commission, which the Congress advocates? Is the youth of the country comfortable with the idea of Congress curbing monopolies, again, which the Congress advocates? Is the youth of the country comfortable with the Congress prioritizing high-volume jobs rather than high-value jobs, which was in their manifesto, especially when the youth of this country is engaged in the study, which is, towards science, tech, and engineering? Is the the youth of this country comfortable with the khatakat programs which have put Karnataka on the verge of bankruptcy, Himachal on the verge of bankruptcy? My point is that the issues of the youth are not restricted to one exam alone. That is an issue, but that is not the only issue. You go out. I have 35, at least 35 working years ahead of me, Madhav. I am one of the members of the youth of the country, perhaps on the senior side. The idea of private sector reservations to people who have studied with me or work with me or ones who are juniors to me, it scares the daylights out of them. And the Congress tells it so openly, jitni abadi utna haq, हम एक्सरे करेंगे कंट्री का, हम कास्ट करेंगे. आप कह रहे हो चप्पल घिसी, न्याय यात्रा करी, 99 सीटें आई हैं, 272 सीटें नहीं आई हैं. The arrogance of the Congress needs to calm down. If they want to talk about the youth, let's talk about everything.
One
Can I just talk
youth has been
about-
talked about, but it's not just about need. There are a number of other issues of concern. Please respond to that.
Number one, first of all, right now, it is the BJP which is facing a huge crisis because of all aspirational youth who were giving competitive exams, which is thousands. Now, let me finish.
Statement every day. No, Madhav, you allowed to give a sweeping statement. Ali also she made a sweeping statement.
You can respond to her, sir.
Let me say now.
I can't
It's not an emergency, so let me say.
No, it's not an emergency,
Calm
but
down.
don't make sweeping statement until you have anything to prove with it.
Achha, the protests are against the people who set up the system of the NTA. Anyway, that's not the point. I think what Tushar finds outrageous is where, I agree, you will be very outraged, but that is where people of the Dalit Pichra will find hope that they will get jobs, because that is the real failure in our country of whosoever, of the system we can say it, that people have very little hope in rural India of getting out. If you are from a backward caste, that you will get anything. That is the reason you are seeing this mandate in the state of Uttar Pradesh, which is my home state. That is why you are seeing it. And that is why I was one of the people who said the BJP will not cross 250, because I saw things.
Why did the state of Odisha reject you then?
No,
Why did the tribal state of Odisha
let me
reject you?
come there.
Why did the tribal state of
Let me
Chhattisgarh
answer
reject
that
you?
in...
Why did the state of Madhya Pradesh, where Rahul Gandhi went in December and said, Jitne Badi reject you, took away the lone seat of the Congress from Chhindwara and gave it to the BJP? Your analysis, I'm sorry, it makes for a good generic statement, but it's in principle absolutely wrong.
Okay.
You might think it's wrong, but let me answer that. Are you aware that without the 20 from Odisha, the BJP's numbers were 220?
Are you aware without the Samajwadi Party in Uttar Pradesh, the Congress would have been reduced to nothing?
There was such
Are you aware? Are you talking about the 20 BJP?
These are all rhetorical arguments. I don't think.
Don't get angry.
Each party.
But you find outrageous is what they find.
In the era of coalition politics, one second. In the era of coalition politics, each party can make this argument.
No, without left and Mamata Banerjee, two polar parts. What is India Alliance?
BJP ka 220 without Odisha as a windfall.
They don't go together.
Because of the Pandian issue. Kya naam tha? Pandian, no?
You move the seats of Mamata Banerjee. What is India Alliance without that? And Mamata Banerjee is not on board. She's already set.
Very important. Nobody is debating that. I'm saying without Odisha, BJP was down to 220.
So we won Odisha.
We won, yes. Fantastic.
Okay, let's go.
So, Mr. Yogendra Yadav will right for right.
All right, let me come in now.
What is Rahul Gandhi in UP?
Yeah.
No, one thing you have to give it to Saba Naqvi, that without 20 seats for Odisha, BJP would have been down to 220. But had the BJP been down to 220, their tally would still have been higher than Congress's 40-year tally, because the last time they even crossed 220 was 1984.
Okay.
Or rather 240.
Saba has of course made a point. I want Subrasha to answer one important point.
In between, because on Sam Pradhoda, nation will never forget and forgive Sam Pradhoda for his hua to hua comment. Let me be very clear on this. Hua to hua will never be forgiven.
How many slips have done, sir?
3,006 because 376 were butchered by Rajiv Gandhi, Kamal Nath, put together. I'm saying it on record. They were butchered by Rajiv Gandhi and Kamal Nath, put together.
My brother married to a singer.
It is G.P.
My sister married to a sick boy.
Read G.P. Sidhu's book on
Never.
And that's why
we did nothing.
Sam Pradhoda को dare to say हुआ तो हुआ. जब बड़ा पैर के साथ धरती हिलती है,
दिल्ली में सिख डोमिनेटेड सीटों से हारते हो।
हुआ तो हुआ वो।
Okay.
दिल्ली में सिख डोमिनेटेड सीटों से हारते हो।
सिख डोमिनेंट की बात ही नहीं है। बात है कि जो आपने किया इलेक्शन का हारना जितना अलग बात है।
Okay, let me come in.
भूल नहीं सकते हम
Let me
लोग।
come in now. There's a very important. Yeah.
Because very small.
It's not nitpick.
One by one.
My family members were butchered.
84 acts is not a small issue.
And my
84 acts is not a small issue.
aunts were read. What do you mean it's छोटा nitpick?
Nitpicking
No,
is
let's
not-
not.
My point is, let's us discuss the bigger issues which face.
No,
this
हुआ
nation.
तो हुआ।
Does everybody need empowerment? Does this government want to bring everybody into the fold, give them jobs, give them respect, give them a decent
Very
standard
nice.
of living? I think we need to discuss those issues which the government has to do. It is the job of the opposition to take on the government and to expose the government. But it is the job of the government to give the people what they need to live a decent life.
I want to ask Tushar and Subrashta a very important question. Rahul Gandhi now, he's not just going to be LOP. By virtue of being LOP, he becomes members of those committees which in fact select the CEC, the EC, the CVC, the CIC, the CBI director, Lokpal member. He's also on the panel of several parliamentary committees that Saba was referring to. Will Rahul Gandhi now have a more decisive say in terms of not just the opposition but also putting forth an alternative perspective? Because while we have not even seen an LOP for the last 10 years, will we be seeing a qualitatively different Rahul Gandhi, an effective LOP?
Madhav, I think the citizens of this country do not only elect the government, they also elect an opposition. If Rahul Gandhi is really serious, and if I were to accept all the charges, that the India Alliance members and their supporters say, that this government is dictatorial, doesn't allow people to speak in the parliament, then I would really expect that every parliament session there are at least 10 serious notes coming from Rahul Gandhi's office as LOP, saying that this is my view on the CVC. This is my view on this particular bill that has been tabled in the parliament. This is my view that, that my committee is looking into on this particular bill because the government is dictatorial and doesn't want me to, have a say in the parliament. My point is very simple. Can we expect real policy statements from Rahul Gandhi and not generic faff on farmers and youth and women of this country? We are able to fight for our own selves. As a young woman, I address 2 constituencies and I'm telling you, we will fight our own battle. I want specific issues on farm laws, for example. Okay. I want specifics from Rahul Gandhi on corporate India. Okay. I want specifics from Rahul Gandhi कि आज मैं अडानी के लिए बोला ना मैंने संसद में, आज के बाद मैं अडानी का एक चवन्नी नहीं लूंगा, मैं अपने किसी चीफ मिनिस्टर को नहीं बोलूंगा कि आप
you made your point. Let Renu come in now. Yeah.
My dear friend, the point is that if you're in those committees and if you're part of those panels which are going to decide important people, you will be giving your say. You will be making your point. You will be speaking out. Why not? I mean, is he not going to speak? Is he going to be just sitting there doing nothing? When a name is proposed for a CVC, let's say, Rahul Gandhi will have a say. Whether it happens or not is different because it's 2 against 1. There's a union cabinet minister and there is a prime minister.
He can put a dissent note, for instance.
But he can put forward his view and he will. Why else has he decided?
Please, let the other side come in.
To do this.
Yeah, so Tushar, if there is a dissent note, for instance, that Rahul puts out on a particular appointment, that is also their position that has been articulated. They did not have that possibility earlier. Adhir would be invited.
I know that Rahul Gandhi will do a fantastic job, Tushar. I agree.
Let him speak. You can come up
Rahul Gandhi will do a fantastic job.
There has to be a structure to the debate.
I know that
there has to be a structure to the debate, please.
I'm telling it to you today. There will only be dissent from Rahul Gandhi. The nature of this new opposition is only confrontation. They are not looking for any consensus building. Let this be the unpopular opinion on this debate. But beyond all the theory, beyond all the nice sugar coating, the opposition is looking for confrontation. Can you please keep quiet for a second when someone else is speaking? Or is it too much for you? She was saying, let's talk about the larger picture. Shubrasta spoke about specifics, so I won't get into that because the specifics make the opposition uncomfortable. Let's talk about generics. She was talking about empowering people, giving them a decent standard of living, blah, blah, blah. This is what they did in Karnataka with their 5 guarantees. What is the state of Karnataka today? Deputy CMs, 5 of them. The possibility of 5 deputy CMs. The deputy CM and the CM fighting amongst themselves. Factions within the party. External firms being hired to boost revenues of the state government. Land parcels being put up on sale because the government does not have money for the freebies. Shouldn't this also be spoken about on the floor of the House?
What I want to say about Parliament, I would like to remind the August gathering here that even on the CEC, the Election Commission thing, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary was in the committee. First, the government amended the laws and got the Chief Justice out. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary was not given time.
Please, let's not interrupt. They did amend the law, but it was allowed by Supreme Court.
There was
not
no
interrupt
law.
everyone. Please.
Let me finish.
No, please, you can
Adhir
rebut,
Ranjan
but please
Chaudhary
don't do
was,
this.
according to his version, was not even given time to go through the names that were suggested for the Chief Election Commissioner. It was all in the public domain. I'm not making it up. Let me also remind you that Sanjay Raut, who's important in the Shiv Sena, he sent a letter to the then Speaker that he is under pressure and he is being told that he will be jailed unless his party is broken. All of this has happened. So to say that they should behave well when they were not heard, when Rahul Gandhi was disqualified for raising an issue, when Mahua Moitra was disqualified, when some of the most...
I wanted to take her on last time also when she raised the issue. Let it be very clear that there are 2 facts on the table. One fact is that Mahua Moitra and Rahul Gandhi talked
the fact is also about the election. Don't shout so much, Subrashta.
That's okay.
And there's a point about the election.
He's entitled to respond. Please listen to others. No, see, Saba, you're not. No, but the point is you're also interrupting. Let's not go on this road.
Making points. She's shouting.
Calm down.
Please carry on.
I'm responding. I'm saying there are 2 disparate factual statements. One is that Rahul Gandhi and Mahua Moitra raised the issue of Adani, right? The other thing is that they were disqualified from the parliament, but why exactly were they disqualified? Saba won't tell you. Because then it is getting into the fine print. When you raise an issue about a member in the parliament who is not inside the parliament, it is against parliamentary procedure. It's as simple as that. About disqualifying, and by the way, that was not the reason why she was disqualified. Do your research and please next debate when we meet, please tell me why exactly was Rahul Gandhi and Mahua Moitra disqualified. It is not because there is
I will not debate this. I will not debate. I have not alleged. It's in the public domain. It's written about.
It's in the public domain because people like you, I'm sorry to say, for all your fantastic record on journalism, you guys have twisted facts. You guys have misrepresented what has happened in this country for a very long time. So I am telling you, just because you are sympathetic to Rahul Gandhi does not give you the mandate to tell me I am in power. I am. I'm a citizen of this country. आप तो पार्टी में हो. ये पार्टी में है क्या? ये पार्टी में है क्या? नहीं है ना? नहीं है ना?
Okay. One second.
वो डिफाइन करने दीजिए ना अपने आप को. The problem is, Madhav, that the opposition, that Rahul Gandhi, I am 100% sure that Rahul Gandhi will do a fantastic job as an LOP. Why? Because he will continue to lobby for specific people.
Okay, that's an allegation. That's an allegation.
But we will never debate on policy.
You made your point. You made your point. So that's not.
Anybody who is making a fair point cannot be tarnished as belonging to a particular party.
Exactly.
I have been very critical of Rahul Gandhi in the past because when I felt that he wasn't performing or he wasn't doing what he's supposed to do, I was very critical and became very unpopular, though I cover the Congress party.
On a lighter note, you've been very critical of Jairam Ramesh also. Huh?
But now, when I feel that, he's trying to do something a little more, then, we should all, it's not that we are becoming party to what he is. We are just seeing the situation on the ground and reacting to it. So it's unfair to label people as Congress or BJP. You all belong to the BJP, fine. We don't belong to any particular party. We are saying...
But that's exactly what she's saying.
She has been equally critical.
She's saying exactly that I'm not a part of the party. She's saying I'm not part of the party. That's okay. That's all right.
That's all. One doesn't have to do anything.
Many would say interrupting is also rude, shouting is also rude, interrupting is also rude.
On the first day of Parliament, when there was an atmosphere that everybody should carry everybody along, who started the confrontation? It was Mr. Speaker, who had just been elected. He brought in the issue of emergency.
Okay, that's an allegation. Once again, I need to get a response on that.
This was the party that boycotted anchors and labelled them as something. For all the sugar-coated talk you do, you forget that the labeling starts from the Congress party, ma'am.
Answer what she said.
Also,
Ma'am,
the
give
rules
me a
of
second.
procedure. One point about this
You make false statement, then you don't allow the person to also talk to.
Conclude quickly. We have very limited time.
हम लोग तो झूठ ही बोलते हैं। हम लोग out of power, तुम लोग power में सिर्फ सत्य बोलते हो, हम लोग झूठे।
ऐसा कुछ नहीं, everyone should get equal number of
We are all liars. आप लोग सब
everyone's voice is being heard as well.
चिल्ला के बात करते हैं।
Let's not make these false narratives, please. Quickly, conclude your point, RP.
She was talking about the speaker and she was talking about the consensus building up. I mean, on the speaker part, they fielded K. Suresh. And give me a second, ma'am. And then they, while entering the parliament, Mr. Kharge has on record saying, we are contesting election. When they were walking in, they got a call from someone. And they built up a consensus. They said, no, we will go by the, we will not ask for the vote. We won't ask for the vote. But fact is, they knew how their India alliance is not together.
But they're also saying that you've not given the deputy speaker's post, which you enjoyed when BJP was in
deputy
power.
speaker is still election has to come if it has to happen.
But
is India alliance together? Is India alliance together? Otherwise, they would not go for voting. That's why they made the person contest election. And that clearly shows the anti-Dalit face also. It's not the first time. It's happening again and again that they pitch Dalit and then they withdraw.
The decision was taken the night before not to go in for a division.
Ma'am, Mr. Kharge was walking in. Mr. Kharge was walking in. Give me a second,
all right. Completely out of time.
I'm sorry, you're not
completely out of time. If this debate is any indication, then Rahul Gandhi is, of course, himself a subject which causes a huge amount of divide within our polity, whichever side that one belongs to. There's no doubt about the fact that this is perhaps a huge leg up for Rahul Gandhi. Will he live up to the promises? Will he live up to the aspirations? Perhaps that's a big question at the moment, and we'll be certainly watching out over the next 5 years for that. Thanks so much for joining us this year.